No Room for a Sneeze is our book, and it's a folk tale. Once a long time ago, a man lived with his wife and their 7 children. They lived in a small village on a small farm in a very small house. With them lived a dog, 3 cats, and a goldfish. Sometimes it was peaceful and quiet, but most of the time it was not. The dogs chased the cats chased the goldfish, the children chased each other, and the man and wife fussed and scolded from sunrise to sunset. "What a calamity," said the man to his wife. "These things wouldn't happen if our house was not so small." "You're right," said the woman. "Our house is too small." At last the unhappy couple complained to their friends. "You must go to the wise man," they said. "He alone can help you." So the man and his wife climbed the hill to the house of the wise man. They stood before him and told their story. "There is not room to turn around," said the man. "I cannot bend to tie my shoelace. If only our house were bigger." "So much noise," said the woman, "such yapping, such yammering, it's worse than a circus." The wise man closed his eyes. He listened. Then he asked one simple question. "Tell me, are there animals on your farm?" The man and his wife grew puzzled. They had not climbed the hill to speak of animals, but the woman said, "We have some hens and a rooster, and some ducks and a goose," said the man. The wise man clapped his hands. He tugged his beard. He tapped the side of his nose. Then he said, "Go home, my friends. Take the ducks and the goose and the hens and the rooster into your house to live with you." The man and his wife couldn't believe their ears, but they did as the wise man had said. Now, try to imagine the uproar. Chickens squawking, the rooster cock-a-doodle-dooing, ducks quacking, the goose honking, the feathers flying, and don't forget the children. The noise, the clutter, night and day and night, things were worse than ever. The woman sent her husband back to the wise man. "Dear wise man," he wept, "what can we do? Now the house is so crowded there is not room for a sneeze." The wise man looked at his fingers. He looked at his toes. "Tell me more about your farm." "There is a mule to pull your wagon," said the man. "Aha," said the wise man, jumping to his feet. "Go home and take the mule into the house to live with you." "Where?" cried the poor man, but the wise man waved his hand. He would say no more. "Are you crazy?" yelled the woman when her husband led the mule into their house. She hurled a pink petunia at his head. "Husband, have you lost your wits?" "The wise man has spoken," replied the husband, and he went to get straw for the mule. The children rode the mule around the kitchen. They dressed it in the father's coat and in their mother's hat. The husband ran back to the wise man. "Help me," he cried. "My hair is falling out. My wife will not speak to me. Only a miracle can save us." "Do you have a cow?" asked the wise man. Poor man nodded. "Good," said the wise man. "Bring her into the house to live with you." With tears rolling down his cheeks, the man led the cow into the house. When the cow was milked, the dog upset the bucket. The woman sat on the hen's eggs. The mule broke the dishes. The children cried and squabbled. The man and his wife did not know what to do. "Go back to the wise man," cried the woman. "Tell him he is ruining our lives." "You're ruining our lives," cried the husband. "You wouldn't believe what our house has become. The hens roost in my chair. The cow is eating the curtains. The noise, the smell. Do something." "There's a beggar in your village," said the wise man. "Invite him to come live with you." When the man came home with the beggar, his wife almost fainted. When supper was served, the beggar ate it all. He would not sleep on the floor with the animals, but took the bed of the husband and his wife. The next morning, the husband ran back to the wise man. He held out his hands. He tried to talk, but he could not. "Things are terrible," said the wise man. The poor man mumbled, "Yes." "You and your wife are miserable," said the wise man. Yes, said the poor man. Yes, I have found another home for the beggar, called the wise man. Go home and tell him to leave. The man ran home with his good news. His wife packed a lunch for the beggar. They waved as he went down the road. That night, the man and his wife slept in their own bed. How good it felt. The next day, when the goose flew into the baby's cradle and wouldn't come out, the man left his house again. He stood before the wise man. The time has come for the animals to return to the barn, said the wise man. Go home now, my friend. Go in peace. The man took the mule back to the barn. The woman led the cow away. The children shooed the ducks and the hens. The rooster crowed and flapped up on the roof. When the man and his wife cleaned and scrubbed and polished their little house, the children picked flowers and set them on the table. What a beautiful house we have, they said. So quiet, so comfortable, so roomy. Then happily, they all sat down and they all had supper. No room for a sneeze.